Well, welcome to a Pastor's Cafe. I'm your host, David. I'm here with Pastor Steve Kern, and boy, we have an excellent episode ahead for you, and we'll be right back. Okay, well, welcome back to the show. Again, I'm David. I'm here with Pastor Steve Kern. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to answering these questions.
Good.
That I'm not so sure if they're answerable.
This episode is called Faith Through Transitions. Brought to you by a Pastor's Cafe. I'm just joking. All right. Yeah.
I started to go, woo, 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 woo.
Well, you know what? We're living in an exciting time where there's a lot of wee-doo going on. It's like, what world are we living in?
For sure.
I mean, have you seen some of these? I mean, sometimes, when I get kind of bored, I just need to check my brain out. I'll get on YouTube and I'll start watching crazy YouTube videos on simulation theory.
Yeah.
Like that we're living in the Matrix.
Oh.
And we're really batteries plugged into this main computer and,
That is wild.
That is pretty wild, And then people will post a picture, a tree has grown up through a car, and they'll say, this is proof that there's a glitch in the Matrix.
I don't even know what the Matrix is, for crying out loud.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Do I have some movies for you to watch?
Oh, God. Well, I've seen the Matrix movies.
Oh, there you go.
Well, is that the ones about Reeves and
that guy? Take the red pill or the blue pill.
Or the blue pill, yeah.
That's where that, whole thing came about, that you've been red pilled.
Oh.
You've been blue pilled.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, okay. So, are you ready for your questions today?
I'm ready.
Okay.
As far as I can tell.
All right, here we go. What does the Bible say about trusting God through leadership changes, and how can we maintain peace during political shifts? Yes, we
don't have
coming up.
The problem with that is we don't have a whole lot of control over that as far as the situation goes.
Yep.
The political changes and all that kind of a thing. The one thing we do have control over is our faith in God and the faith in the fact that He is in control, and that nothing surprises Him. He's got a plan. He's working out the plan. And fortunately, we've got now His Word that has really been giving us a lot of information as to what to expect, or to not be surprised about different kinds of things that happen, because He's told us, hey, this is how it's going to be. And so keep your faith in me. And that's about all we can do. Now, we can go back and look into a lot of the leadership changing that went on in Scripture, Moses to Joshua, the different changing going on in the book of Judges and all, and how that the main theme there is that first of all, God's working with the leader, like from Moses to Joshua, be strong in the Lord, the strength of His might as you're leading. And it's good to have leaders like that you can actually trust, that are actually.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm not so sure we're always have those kinds of leaders nowadays, and a lot of times I think there's been some disillusionment when it came to leaders that we thought what we had, and it wasn't really. But what we thought we had isn't what we had.
Yeah, and what's concerning to me is, I voted for Trump. He says things that resonate with me in my lifestyle and how I choose to live, and that's good. However, there are some red flags coming up that are very interesting.
Yeah.
Like the push towards one world government. I know we kind of hint on this last time, but us acquiring Greenland and us acquiring Canada, and isn't that a move towards
Mexico?
That?
There seems to mention
Mexico. I mean, so is this a push towards one world government? Who knows? It's all speculation. It's just something to think about, something to pray about.
Well, at this point in time, I just kind of see it as Trump kind of responding to Biden's open borders and all of that, in the sense that that's what we've already been up to, for the last 4 years, is these people pouring in from all over the place. And okay, so what would it be like if we finally just all were one big, I think that's kind of the way he's dealing with. Now, this Greenland thing, that's a totally different thing. It doesn't really have a whole lot to do with our borders, but I see that more as a move to try to gain control of that area before China does.
Exactly.
And so that's more or less kind of a national protection type thing or something, I guess. But anyway, the thing about Trump is, and people have a lot of problems a lot of times with Trump's the things that he's had to say and the ways he said it and all that kind of a thing. But fortunately, it's turned out to be not as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So anyway,
and I'm not bashing him at all. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. I mean, things were running really pretty smooth from my viewpoint when Trump was in office.
Right.
So,
yeah. But political change, I mean, a lot of it, you just have to keep your trust in the fact that God's in control, regardless of who the leadership is at the time. I mean, you think in terms of Christians in other parts of the world, that dictators and these different. We have some ministries in Kenya, and the leadership train, the tribal controversies, and all different kinds of stuff going on that. They have to deal with a whole lot more of it there than we do here. But but anyway, and that's not to say it could be coming our way. I thought it was coming our way when Kamala was kind of I don't know. The media was trying to convince us that Kamala had the possibility of winning.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we dodged that bullet.
We sure did. But. How do we maintain peace? We're not going to really maintain peace within society, but we can maintain peace within ourselves and within our. That's where I think having a body of believers, of common believers, that you can draw from each other strength, and that's really what Hebrews chapter 10, 23, 26 there. To forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. Yeah. That's what that whole point is. There is gaining strength from each other. Yeah. And so I think maintaining your own personal faith and faith in transition you're talking about there, and then continuing to connect with people of common faith.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. Question number 2. How can believers combat fear and anxiety in times of societal and government instability?
Stay in the Word.
Because we are living in a day of instability.
Oh, we sure are.
Yeah.
And make sure you're getting the right kind of information. And a lot of times we aren't. A lot of this information seems to be designed to keep you all upset or frustrated or having anxiety about what's going on. There's all these different kinds of, what do they call them, theories? But conspiracy theories. So how do we combat it? Well, we combat it with the truth. We combat it with what we know to be what God's promises are, regardless of what's going on.
Sure.
Keeping our eyes, our hearts, our minds focused on what God's word, what His promises are, and staying close in relationship with Him, in prayer and Bible study, and again listening to the right information.
Sure. Yeah.
Making sure you're getting the right information, because there's so much stuff out there on all these blogs and everything that who knows what what's a lot of people,
disinformation, malinformation,
yeah,
people posting things just to draw an audience, people just posting stuff so they can get a reaction or a response from people.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But we crave that. We as human beings, we crave that drama. You know, it's like some people they crave drama. You know, they kind of need it like oxygen.
Or there are some things that people really want to be true, even though
Exactly.
even though we know it's not true.
Yeah. Okay. So, kind of a side question because I hopefully this will fit in, but this is like one of the things I've always wanted to know.
Yeah.
And it's really not a question. There is a question, but it'll take me a while to get to the question because I don't know how to frame the question.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you all ears? Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So you know how you're around certain people in your lives.
Yeah.
And certain people in your lives, they seem like they should have control over, or they should have like their opinion matters, or and then because I'm kind of wired this way.
Yes.
If you ask me my opinion, I give my opinion. And if I think it's going to be helpful without you asking, then I'll give you my opinion. So, for example, if you see a child going up to a stove with the burner on and you see flames,
yeah,
you can sit there and say, I wouldn't touch that because you'll probably burn you.
Yeah.
You know, that's different than the other people who are like this. I'm going to go to Crest and I'm going to have my shopping list. And well, what time are you going to go to Crest? What time? Do you think that's the best time? I wouldn't go at that time. I would go at this time. Oh, so you're going to buy those carrots? I buy these carrots because they're better. So you must be foolish and dumb and just, you know what? The kind of people that always want to have input on your life, and they feel like they should control your life, and they get mad at you if you make decisions that are contrary to what they think is best for you, but they don't know what's best for you.
Yeah.
So what kind of question is that? And do you know what kind of people I'm talking about? Or am I just the only one in my own world that has experiences with people like this?
Well, I'm still having to deal with.
And no, I'm not talking about marriage life or anything like that.
I'm just about. You have to eat what's organic, rather than just whatever you get at the store. Those kind of, and there's so much stuff coming up now on the internet that puts out ideas or information that this is what you thought at one time was good for you, and it's no longer good for you anymore. And to be honest with you, I get an information overload sometimes with all of that.
Information overload from certain individuals. And I'm not talking about church people in general.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general the number of people, like when I was at UCO, that would walk by my office, fellow faculty members, and it's just like, do I ever walk down to your office and tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong consistently, especially what you're doing wrong, and how if you made decisions that I would make, everything would be better. Do I ever do that to you? No. Then why do you come to my office relentlessly, consistently, on a daily basis, and you let me know what I'm doing wrong and why you think it's better if I followed your advice? I don't want your advice. You are living a lifestyle that is contrary to what I believe. I don't want to listen to you. Would you please stop talking to me? But then, well, you're missing out on a grand opportunity to glean from my knowledge and my superiority and how brilliant I am. I'm going, what part of this conversation are you not understanding? And so am I the only person that's had experiences like that? Or have you had experiences like that? And I'm curious if our listening audience have had experiences with people like that.
Of course.
There you go. Thank you very much. I'm not the only one living in this world where people irritate the snot out of you. Just joking.
Of course. Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, my way or the highway.
But do they have nothing else to do but to meddle in other people's businesses?
Well, that is what they have to do.
I wish I had that kind of life. I am too busy. Aren't you kind of busy just taking care of what you need to take care of and meeting the needs of the people around you and taking care of them? Aren't you kind of busy doing that?
Yes.
Well, I'm staying busy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, anyways.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, I could see too.
Oh boy, here we go.
Having you coming out of academia, where there's a lot of that goes on in academia, because you have all these different professors and stuff that all have their own particular things that they're supposed to be have the authority in and all that kind of a thing, and so that's that particular situation. And I think sometimes you can get into that when you get into pastors getting together and
I got you.
Calvinism versus Reform and the non-Calvin and all those kinds of things. Yeah, you run into that a lot. How can you don't you really think that you're needing you're misleading your people and all that kind of thing?
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
Pretty nice doubts in your mind too.
Yeah,
I mean, it can put doubt in your mind, insecurity. It can.
Well, but I found that you just do some good research, and the Lord gives you the answer you need.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so that was question 1.5.
Think it through.
Or was that 2.5? Have we even done the second one?
Yeah, we did. We did the second one.
Second question.
I saw you looking at your phone, of your clock, watch there. We got.
I was just making sure what time it was.
Okay, well, of course, we got to make sure we get done here.
All right, here we go. Third question is dealing with unity amid division. What role does the church play in fostering unity and hope when society feels divided? And of course, we do feel divided. At least I do, from my perspective.
Well, what role does the church play in fostering unity? A lot of times nowadays, that's not really possible for the church to do, because a lot of times we find ourselves on the opposite side of what the other side is wanting us to be unified with.
Fascinating that the other side want us to unify with their belief system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Church is bad. They don't unify.
Judgmental.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're too Well, didn't our pastor talk a little bit about that Sunday? About this idea of being judgmental and all. It's kind of, if you're really going to stand for what's true, I mean, or what the Bible teaches, what the Bible teaches, and people are living in opposition to it, or the government's trying to push, the possibility of, well, this whole thing was transgender thing. That's what's been going on just this last week with all kinds of
it's just
stuff. And how can you have unity with that?
Oh, you can't.
You can't have unity with it. The thing you have to do is you have to stand for, even though if it isn't unity, you have to stand for what's right and what's true. Because if you don't, what are you doing? You're justifying those people in doing the kinds of things that really are totally in complete opposition to what's best for them.
Sure. And what we've done is we've taken right and wrong, and we have pushed them apart, which they should be apart. But we put this gray area in between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Anything else you want to talk about in the way of how the church should change and
I don't think we should be worried about fostering unity in culture.
You don't like my question?
I don't see Jesus fostering any unity
in
the gospel.
This was a gotcha question, and I didn't.
Yeah, well, see, there you go.
I want to. No, just joking.
Yeah, of course.
All right, here we go. And living out our faith. How can Christians remain steadfast in their faith and be a light to others in a time of political, social, and spiritual change? And spiritual change, we're not changing God.
No.
But people are sometimes in different seasons. So can we approach it from that perspective?
Yeah. Well, I wrote this down. The movie Bonhoeffer, have you been to see it?
I have not seen that.
Wow. this question, that movie is the perfect answer
Really?
to this question.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, of course, here he is.
Everyone just, the question's answered. Just watch the movie.
And a lot of it has to do with his early part of Hitler taking over, and how that at the beginning the church was really buying into his leadership and what the direction they were going, and actually, Z Kyle and all that, going along with that, and he's seeing that, and he's saying, the church is actually being drawn in to basically go along to get along, kind of a thing. When what needs to be being done is we need to be standing for what's right.
Yeah.
And so we see that's the whole situation with Bonhoeffer, is even the church, leadership in the church, that he's trying to make a stand on this, and they're all coming to him and saying, "Look, we need to be going along. He's the leader and all that kind of stuff of the country," and he's saying, "Yeah, but he's causing us to and influencing us to go against what really we know is the way things are supposed to be."
Interesting.
And so that's really what the whole movie's about. So it's the Christian. It's like my wife when she was in the House of Representatives and got involved in discussing the movement of gay rights into politics, and she really wasn't addressing the gays as individuals. It was about, the lifestyle and the way of thinking, how that it was in contrary to the way the country was established and that kind of thing. Not necessarily attacking those people, but saying, hey, this is something that's taking us in the wrong direction, into things that our founding fathers really didn't were trying to keep us from getting involved in, type of thing.
Gotcha.
And boy, I mean, she went through it, but the thing about it was she never apologized.
Good for her.
Because she said, what I've said is the truth, and I can't apologize for the truth.
Yeah.
Good. And I don't have anything to apologize for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that's always gotten, leaders of different things, and they're worried about political and they're standing with, and so they'll come under attack for something that they said. And so they're willing to just go ahead and apologize when,
Oh, yeah.
when reality they should have taken a stand for.
Exactly.
If they were right, and if they said it was right, what they said was right, then hey, you gotta stand with it. But so anyway, I think we need a whole lot more of that.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but I'm afraid we're not getting a lot of it.
Well, we live in exciting times. We're living in the end times. And I tell you what, it is a very exciting time in which to live.
Yes. And I'm 78 years old. And I'm looking at, I really don't have probably enough time left to really face what young guys like you guys do. And, and I really feel sort of like I got a grandson that's going to graduate from high school next year. And seeing the way things are going, and my younger grandson, he's in the 9th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Well, by the time he gets out of high school, Trump will be out of office, and
oh, yeah.
Who knows what in the world's going on by then.
If we make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Lord will come before then. But
amen to that.
Boy,
yep.
But yeah, I really feel for the folks that are facing what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to face it is be strong in the Lord and the strength of His might.
That's right. All righty.
Amen.
Well, that's a wrap for today. This is episode number 5 of Pastor's Café. We'll be back next week, and we'll see what we have in store for Pastor Steve Kern.
Oh, boy.
Until then, take care, and bye-bye.